Memento Mori. I figured it out when I saw my old flip phone and a photo on Facebook from back in middle school. I was looking back on mine and Justin's lives when it occurred to me to see if that number would translate to anything in text. It was hard at first because nothing I put in made sense, but after a while I got Moment Miri, with autocorrect being the bitch she is. I can't complain too much though because the Google search led me back to Memento Mori. Remember, everyone must die. It had been a couple hours of research and the stress was hitting Casey's brain much faster and harder than I was used to. Then a flutter of panic ran across my chest and my heart started thumping like I had just run a 5K. Out of nowhere, I wanted to cry and scream and run, but there was nowhere to run or any immediate reason for me to. Yup, there it goes. The floodgates have opened and the citizens of Tit Valley won't have time to put up their little sandbags, so there goes another cute bra to mascara stains. She's back. The tears from her eyes didn't match the sigh of relief coming from my own consciousness, so it made for an awkward grunting bark sound that reverberated off the walls of her tiny dorm room and managed to confuse her long enough to stop the tears from flowing. I tried to speak using her mouth, but the words wouldn't come out. Her head turned against my will, which was the signal that told me she was back in control. She turned her head to see my slumped body, and I felt a little bit of pee leak out when she bounced back and screamed, "Justin? What the fuck?" She looked down at my hands, noticing that Justin's distinguished mole wasn't there. "Wait, Nick?" she said as she shook my shoulder. "Nick, get up. What the hell are you doing here?" A spark of light like I've never seen flashed and sent my entire being into a state of shock and confusion. Huh? I felt my face crunch into a confused grimace as I opened my eyes to see Casey hunched over me. Her hair in the same sloppy ponytail I'd put it in to keep it from distracting my research. "You're awake," I announced, bouncing to my knees and hugging her so hard she probably couldn't move or breathe for that matter. "I'm awake. We're both awake at the same time." She promptly wiggled loose and pushed me off of her. "Nick, what the hell are you going on about? Why are you in my room?" She looked around to see the light of mid-afternoon peeking through the bamboo blinds on her window. "And what time is it?" "You have my phone, so I don't know the exact time, but you've been asleep for a while." She looked down at her hands to see my phone in one of them. "Wait, why?" "Long story." I cut her off. "We need to talk about how you've been feeling." She looked down and furrowed her brows with tears still running down her reddening cheeks. It only took me a second to realize that it wasn't a look of shame, but one of recollection and confusion. "I don't understand. What do you mean?" "I feel confused and a little scared, but that's because I just woke up to my brother's boyfriend passed out in my completely destroyed room. I'm probably late to class and we graduate in 3 days. 2 days. I corrected her, earning myself a slight sneer. "But that's not important. You're going to want to sit down for this." Pacing in front of her, I explained it all to her. Every detail. How I knew that she was depressed, that I found out what she was going to do, and that I had been in and out of her body for the past day. I told her that I don't know what is going on with me or why I've been cursed to live the deaths of others or how only the world... I told her I don't know what is going on with me or why I've been cursed to live the deaths of others and how the only word that came to mind to explain it was Reaper. Throughout this whole conversation, she was silent. She didn't look skeptical or uneasy. She was just listening. She didn't speak up until I was done. "Huh. That makes a lot of sense." "What? How does someone hear all this crazy shit and just think, oh, alright, whatever?" She must either be really open-minded or absolutely fucking bonkers. "Nick, I haven't been honest with you or your brother. I am not who you think I am. This body isn't mine. Your suspicions are true in a way. I'm like you. However, I've always liked the term Angel of Death." "Phew, it feels good to drop that facade." I was speechless with my mouth agape. How did I turn out to be the one to get the shock of a lifetime? "Wait, what? You're Casey, right? And if you're Casey, then whose body is this?" "Casey is the name given to this body at the time of its birth. I've been living as Casey since she was 16. My original body has long past decayed into dust. Unlike you, my entire existence is experiencing the death of others. You're a new soul, a baby if you will. When Casey decided to take her own life in sophomore year of high school, I decided that I was going to take it instead. I do it every so often just to taste what life has to offer before continuing on with years of death after death after death. I tried to maintain my composure and to understand all this new information. Alright, if all of this is true, why did I end up as Casey, and who are you really? Nice to meet you, my name is Agnes, she said, extending her arm for a handshake. I hesitantly obliged. I've got a bit of a reputation for breaking the rules, so the big man downstairs sent me a nice little present in the form of depression curse to try and rein me in. You must have picked up on the energy and come to replace me in Casey's body. They wanted you to kill this body off so I'd be forced to move on, but I escaped and came back. You're welcome, by the way. You would have been trapped in this bitch until its death, and your original body would have died along with it. Downstairs? I thought you said you were an angel. My voice cracked against my will. Damn it, I've experienced countless deaths every night for as long as I can remember, and this one conversation was shaking me up. Angel. Fallen angel. Demon. Same difference. She stared through me with a completely new demeanor and must have picked up on how I was feeling. Oh, don't give me that look. You're a demon too, big guy. You just got lucky with your trade skills is all. Unlike your brother. Poor guy's doomed to feed off of depression and addiction for the rest of eternity, so I thought I'd give him a nice lifetime of happiness before he takes the big plunge down below. This was all too much to take in. I went from having strange dreams to being a demon. And my brother is a demon too? Demons are born? I thought they'd just always been around if I ever even believed in them to begin with. Does that mean our parents were demons too? She spoke up again before I could process another thought. Sorry to rope you up in this, kid, but you're part of it now, so buckle up. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. It won't be long until they send us another little gift. We're stronger in threes, so let's go pay your brother a visit, shall we? She turned and stepped out into the hallway, not even checking to see if I had followed. I snapped back to reality and chased after her. Matt, the friendly RA, saw us exit the female stairwell together and looked like he was coming to lecture us, but Casey pushed him out of the way, knocking him on his ass with a quick "fuck off" as she sped down the next stairwell towards the lobby of our building. I think I like Casey, or Agnes, rather, although she does kind of scare the shit out of me. It's hard to write everything in a way that's easy to follow, but for time's sake, I'll have to keep posting in chunks of the past. In a future post, I'll try and catch you up so it's live as it's happening to me. I started this looking for advice, but now I just want to have a record of everything that's happening in case I die and move on from this body so my story won't be lost. As of now, it is a couple days later, and spoiler alert, I'm still alive. Also missing graduation, which is cool. Not like I haven't been busting my ass off for the past 4 years not to walk at graduation. Anyway, I'll post more later. Thank you for the support and suggestions, but this whole event has taken a turn I didn't see coming, and right now we're bouncing around and mooching off of a coffee shop Wi-Fi, so please, be patient with me.